We are flying off the rails. We're flying off the rails here today at Brainsmasher's Metal YouTube of Madness. This is going to be a whatever video, a video about me talking about metal. I haven't really had the wherewithal this week to put together a structured video, but I thought, what's wrong with just picking out a couple of albums out of my collection and talking about them, whether I just got them in or not, whether they're alphabetical or not. So a couple of these are things I did get in this week, and a couple of them are just good albums that I think you should know about. So thanks for joining me, and strap your boots on. First thing I got in is Rhythmic Ruo. This is a great album. This is a reissue on Sfart Records. I believe also available on LP for you diehard vinyl maniacs. But this album was originally recorded in 1993 by a couple of Finnish teenagers. And style-wise, this is very stripped down, very unapologetically stripped down, I guess. There's just really no selling points to it. It's just good music, guttural fucking death metal, amazing guitar fuzz. It is really indicative of a lot of Finnish death metal of its time, but it's just an early, really good example of early Finnish death metal. And like, I don't know if I would say this is an influential record, but it just fits right in there along with the Demigods and the Convulses and the Amorphous kind of stuff. But it's just a little bit more unremarkable. And honestly, that's kind of what its charm to me always has been. The guitar fuzz is amazing. The guttural vocals are awesome. I guess you could say it kind of sounds a little bit akin to like Mortician if they were playing like a doom death sort of style instead of like a grindy sort of style. But the main thing I don't like about Mortician is the drum machine, and this has a real drummer, and the vocals in Mortician just, I don't know. To me, Mortician is just a cartoon death metal band. This is the real fucking deal. Rhythmic Ruo. Couple years after this album was recorded, the main guy died, so they ceased to exist for a couple of years. Got back together. I think they did another EP or an album or something like that. I don't really know. Couldn't speak to the quality of it, but this sure is a great record, and I got it from Hell's Headbangers for $7.77. So pick this up. It's great. You can probably find it on LP out there as well. I forgot to mention what we're listening to. So I was going through my collection, and I just thought, what should I play? How about something that would appeal to summoning fans? It took me less than a second to think of this album. This is Elder Winds, The Magic of Nature. Not available on LP, so if you're one of those LP-only type of guys, you're out of luck. This is also on cassette. This came out in 2013 on Deleting Soul Records. Kind of has like a nice Caladan Brood sort of Eldamar album cover on it. And this definitely would appeal to fans of both of those bands. Great atmospheric black metal with a drum machine, synthesizer. I love this little cheesy synth riff going on. Well done Russian black metal. They went to, after this they did a split with, I want to say, Luster, which was all ambient stuff. So, and I think they got kind of this is a solo project, I'm saying they got some notoriety from that split. However, it was just an ambient release. So I highly recommend checking out The Magic of Nature full length. You should probably be able to get this in distros for less than $10 on CD. You ought to do it because it's fucking killer. Looking forward to new release from that band. I guess I would also say fans of like Maricognitum would probably get into Elder Wind, but mainly like I hear a lot of summoning influence going on. So yeah, if summoning's your thing and you're wanting, and like honestly I think it kind of sounds like older summoning, to be a little bit more astute about it. The newer summoning stuff I kind of struggle with, like ever since Oathbound came out. I don't know, I put them on and I want to love them and I don't, so I turn them off right away. So I don't give myself really a chance to just dig into the dislike of the albums. Maybe someday I'll put them on and I'll love them, but I'm just not since those came out. Another thing I got in this week, kind of be hard to see. Looks like this album artwork was painted pretty dark, so it was printed kind of dark, so it's kind of hard to see. But this is a new 7-inch release from Minneapolis's black metal babies, Phallus. This band is really fucking good, and I've been pretty evangelical about them on my channel. So this is a new release on Gilead Media. Comes on red vinyl. 2 songs, no frills really to it. But this material is kind of perfect for a 7-inch. It's maybe not strong enough for a full length, but it's a good sort of in-between release sort of thing to enjoy of a band that I think highly of. I've seen them live many times, and they just always obliterate and flatten the crowd. And this just has the same charm of all their songs. Sounds quite a bit like a stripped down or maybe watered down Emperor a little bit. Kind of somewhere between Nightside Eclipse and Anthems to the Welcome at Dusk, for sure. So, check this out from Phallus. The 7-inch, I guess I don't know if the 7-inch itself has a title, but the songs on it are called Anhedonia and Hunger. So check that out on Gilead Media. I got another wish list, Holy Grail, The Ruins of Beverast, Phallus Seaman of the Sheltered Elite on double LP. Van Records put this out, I'm going to say 2011, sounds about right. And if you know me, you know I only buy vinyl pretty much to cherish an album that I love. As a collector, I'm not really so much of a vinyl listener. This comes on black wax and is pretty hard to come by for a decent price, but it popped up on Discogs the other day for my kind of price, because I'm a cheap bastard, and I struck. This album is fucking amazing, atmospheric. Kind of hard to pigeonhole genre-wise. That album cover is so fucking great. But they started out as, I guess what I would say, pretty much a straightforward black metal band with a heavy on the atmospherics, relying on keyboards and samples and a really sort of intangible guitar tone to elevate its atmospherics. It's just a really heady couple of albums early on, and then this album sort of represents an era 2, I guess I would say. And the era 2 I enjoy just as much as the first era, but it is quite different. It's a lot more guttural, a lot more doomy, and the spaciousness to what this band's albums can achieve is super vast and nearly infinite. The new record is fucking amazing. Blood Vaults is stellar. This one, for me, I say is probably my favorite of the 3, just because I've enjoyed it for so many years. I've had a lot of good memories just listening to this album on headphones and just completely leaving Earth and jumping deep into the depths of the Phallus Seaman of the Sheltered Elite. It's got a lot of memorable choruses, a lot of memorable riffing, sometimes being just furious, blasting, guttural, black death metal. Other times, just really sparse and infinite sort of just super vivid parts that just evoke some sort of mood that has to do with the topics on this album. I don't really know what these songs are about. I've never really gone into figuring out what their songs are about. The Exuvia album, I read an interview with Alexander von Meilenwald. These lyrics are in English, so I should probably get around to reading these lyrics. I've had this on CD forever, but copies of this album are kind of not easy to come by, especially now. So I'm happy to have that in my collection now. Okay, we got Rhythmic Ruo, L1. Another one, so I've been listening to this one. This is Nettle Carrier. I've been jamming this in my car for a couple of days straight. This is their latest release, Black Coffin Writes. Fucking killer black metal with just a really unremarkable album cover on a label called Aftermath Music, which I've never heard of. I don't really know much about them. So there isn't really much here that would jump out at most people as a selling point to the album. But riff-wise, this album is chock full of just snarly, disgusting black metal riffs. I think I would say it reminds me quite a bit of Dotheimsgard's Monumental Possession. Maybe if you crank the thrash metal retro element of that album down a bit and turned the straightforward, just ugly, disgusting black metal up a couple of notches, you would have Nettle Carrier's Black Coffin Writes. Another thing that might tell you a little bit about the band is that Dirge Rep, the drummer on this album, also played in Gehenna and Aura Noir for a spell. But this is just a fucking fantastic relief. Just killer, dirty, ugly, disgusting, fucking filthy black metal. Great riffs. Just a kind of a super easy, palatable album with amazing fucking riffs. That's really just what it's all about there. Let's see. This was another one I've been listening to this week is Old Wainds' Death Nord Cult. I got this in a couple of weeks ago or something and just got around to listening to it. I am a big fan, as you should also be, of Old Wainds' earlier releases. And this is the second to most recent release. They have another one after this. I'm not thinking of what it's called. Anyways, I didn't really know anything about this album when I picked it up. I figured there was probably a little bit of a change in style since those early recordings, like Where the Snows Are Never Gone and The Religion of Spiritual Violence are so archaic and primitive. I figured they had probably moved on to a more developed style, and that is definitely true on this album. But the style that they have evolved into for the first 3, maybe 4 songs on this album is just a really shitty sort of black thrash style, and it just really turned me off and I wasn't into it. But I powered through to the last half of the album and it went back to being really fucking good. Just riff driven, super simplistic Russian black metal, just super cold feeling, but not a lot of atmospherics, not a lot of frills or fuss, just great riffs. That's been something that's just been playing in my car for the last couple of days. And the last one I'm going to talk to you about is another album I've been playing quite a bit. Nijikawa with Nijin. My buddy Lord Sardonyx and I put this out on Pagan Flames back in 2007. An early release for this project. This project evolved quite a bit through its styles. It's kind of started out as like an atmospheric doom metal project and moved somewhere into sort of like a mid-paced black metal. And this is one of the earlier incarnations of that style. The guy put out probably 6 to 7 full lengths a year for many, many years. And now he's doing a project called Grok out of Denver, Colorado, which some of you might be familiar with. I think he also plays live with Spectral Voice. So this is his old project. And this is just really, really great. It's not my favorite album of the Nijikawa project. The Irg Alms album is my favorite, but this kind of is a nice building block leading up to the brilliance of Irg Alms. But what it is it's super atmospheric. There's a lot of synthesizer going on. It feels really digital. It really feels like it wasn't made by humans in a way. Computerized drums, or I want to say he actually plays an E-kit if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of guitar effects, a lot of guitar synthesizers. It's just a really heady fucking listen. I recommend checking this out on Bandcamp. You can get it for about $3, I want to say, on the Pagan Flames Bandcamp page. So check that out. You can also check out the Irg Alms and get your head expanded by some new music. So thanks for joining me. Sorry this wasn't much of a video, but I just wanted to not leave you in the lurch for another week without a video. Let's keep on headbanging.